One of the other areas that we have seen an increase with investigations and an increase in notifications of complaints to our law enforcement agency has been in the area of non-consensual pornography, which frequently has been initiated with sexting between service members and or other individuals. Many times they're girlfriends or just acquaintances that they meet. And a simple text message turns into a sexting text message, which turns into sharing of images between both of them. Usually these are some type of consensual act where they both have shared images. What we have actually witnessed for the past couple of years is an increase in offenses that fall in two different categories under the UCMJ. They're very similar offenses of indecent viewing, broadcasting, and recording of images, but it really comes down to the nature of how the images were obtained in the first place. So the first one would be under Article 117 Alpha, which has been recently added, as in 2017 was added to the UCMJ as a criminal offense, which makes it a criminal crime for a soldier to share images of another individual that was either naked or in a state of underwear clad. That is literally the definition of it, and it also requires that they have to have explicit permission or consent from the person that provided the photos. So we have seen these arise, particularly with our younger soldiers when they join the military, and they have images on their phone or they take images, and then the next thing you know, they want to show them to other soldiers or upload them to social media sites, Facebook, Snapchat, or send them on text messages without understanding the consequences that they are now getting themselves involved in a felony investigation that is mandatory reportable to Army CID, where we actually investigate these crimes and creating criminal records for these individuals for up to 50 years where they are not even aware that this is a crime. And just the viewing of these images without the permission of who the image is of could be a crime in itself. So that's the Article 117 Alpha. The other article is Article 120 Charlie, which is a very similar article, except in this one, the victim was not aware the images or video existed. We sort of refer to it sort of like the peeping Tom, where someone has obtained videos or images of another individual. They were naked or in their underwear clad, some type of state of undress, and the victim was unaware they existed. That is not only a crime in the UCMJ, that is actually a crime in about every jurisdiction in law enforcement across the country. And it is actually a 120 Charlie offense that's investigated in the Army as a sexual assault offense under other sexual misconduct. It does carry a higher level of possible punishment. Both of these offenses are felony offenses that are mandatory reportable to CID. And the one thing that is important to know is that the nature of how the videos or photos were taken in the first place is important, meaning, were they taken in an area where there was an expectation of privacy? If there was an expectation of privacy at the time photos or videos were created, then that expectation carries on through the life of the photo, through the process. So even if I provide an image of myself to someone else, if it was done only for the explicit use of that other person, the other individual does not have consent to show that image without talking to me first. This is one of the primary cases we've seen a huge increase in trying to get the word out that not to share this. And something else that many of our junior soldiers, especially here at like Fort Gordon, where we have a junior population that's just recently entered into the military, they may be only 17, 18, or 19 years old based on the time that they're in AIT. And they could be involved with another individual that is 15, 16, 17 years old. We want to make sure that everyone recognizes that the age of consent, number one, for sexual activity for a soldier is with someone above the age of 16 for the UCMJ purposes. Now, every state does have different ages of consent, but for a soldier, the UCMJ applies 24/7, 7 days a week, no matter where they're located. So if you have a 15-year-old girlfriend and you're 17 and you are involved in a sexual act with that person, even if you believe it's consensual, you're potentially looking at a sexual assault investigation because the law says the 15-year-old could not consent. The same thing applies when you have images of these individuals. The actual age that gets involved here is 18. If someone is not of the age of 18 and you have images of that person and they're nude, naked, or performing some type of sexual acts, you actually are in possession of child pornography. And for the person that made it, could clearly be investigated for production of child pornography. These type of cases frequently come up and is completely unexpected for the individual because maybe they're 18 and their girlfriend, boyfriend is 16 or 17, and they possess images that were freely given to them or they obtained with what they thought was consent. However, that is actually a crime of child pornography, possession, distribution, and or creation of child pornography, which we will investigate and many times create a criminal record without even the individual having knowledge it was a crime.